Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Sundering Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. This is your daily tarot reading for the 15th of June 2024. We're using the Journey to Oz and Wonderland tarot that is listed in the description box down below if you're not familiar with that deck. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Alright my lovelies, I am back. I have all your cards on the table. We have 8 majors. We also have a couple synchronicities showing up for you. We have 555, 888, and 999 showing up for you already. The best part of your day, we start off with the 5 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, the 8 of Cups in the reverse, 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, I'm hearing the phrase giving of self, okay, which I was given that as the cards were coming out as well. So some of us may have very poor boundaries. We might overextend ourselves, whether that is, you know, financially, energetically. You know, we give away our time, we give away our energy, we give away our money. Perhaps we are entertaining things that we ought not to. We overindulge in that area. Lack of boundaries. And as much as overextending ourselves, overgiving, is something that maybe we haven't learn to fully walk away from. It's now something that we've realized it needs work, and we need to invest our energy, our time, our money, our giving of self a little bit more wisely, to take proper steps, to take proper action. That way when we do give of ourself, we are not hurting ourselves in the process. Case in point, for example, me. I am an empath, but I am also a healer. By healing others, if I do that too much, especially with my empathic ability, I can damage myself more. I can cause undue harm to myself without the proper boundaries, by overextending myself, by exhausting myself, by giving too much of self. I would not be surprised if this particular reading is not aimed at empaths or healers of some type. Because this is really right up our alley of, okay, yes, it is good to give, it is good to heal, it is good to have compassion and empathy and be on a same level and understanding as somebody else, but at the same time you can't do that as a detriment to yourself. Okay, giving of self. Now this could also be very mundane. Perhaps we're just throwing too much energy in a particular area and it's harming ourselves. Case in point, if we are working and we're scheduled 40 hours, but yet we've been putting in 20 hours worth of overtime on top of a 40-hour week, that is a area where we're probably overgiving and we're exhausting ourselves to our own detriment. So how do we manage that? How do we invest our time, our energy, what we're doing versus what we need, enough to level the playing field? Because let's face it, some jobs, it's not worth it to burn the midnight oil every night for what they pay you and give that much of yourself, and what little you get out of it, it's just, it falls short. Okay, so like I said, boundaries. We got some things to address. The worst part of our day, we have the Tower in the reverse. In other words, things don't change. Either the light bulb doesn't go on, we don't realize we have boundary issues, we don't realize how far we're extending of ourselves. We're giving. We're giving it our all, we're giving all our energy, we're giving all our money, we're just, we're leaking like a sieve. Oh, that's not funny. Sorry. I'm hearing, cloudy with a chance of meatballs. There's a point in the movie where it says, ah, leak in the boat. And it's literally a leak, a plant in the boat. Leaking like a sieve. Apparently mine was not as funny as theirs. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle. This is where the majority of our cards actually are for today. Not surprised, given what the previous items are. We start off with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the Five of Wands in the reverse, Judgment, the Sun, Nine of Wands in the reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, the Devil, the Five of Swords, the Six of Wands in the reverse, the Eight of Wands in the reverse, the Witch, which is an additional card in this particular deck, the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the High Priestess in the reverse, the Two of Swords, the King of Wands in the reverse, the Hermit, the Hangman, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and then we end on the Knight of Cups. Okay. I've kind of already read a lot of this energy out already, but yes, us doing either physical items, emotional healing, etc., and overextending ourselves, the giving of self, it is something that unfortunately is beyond our capability or our limit of capacity in some function. In other words, we're giving and we're giving and we're giving, and then we're reaching our threshold of that and still pushing past it. This is what we're actually called to pay attention to. This is what we really need to learn, is that sometimes that's not what happiness is, that's not what joy is, that's not what success is, that's not what's going to give back whatsoever. And we still have to have energy to live, survive, enjoy our life. But when we have poor boundaries, that's really hard to do. Really hard to do. It brings us down, literally. It has an adverse effect. Because when we run ourselves ragged, when we drain ourselves, then we don't have energy for anything else. And what we have inside ends up being mirrored outside. Okay. You know, if the apple is rotten on the inside, eventually it will show on the outside. So, we don't want to become that. We have to realize that that is actually toxic to us. overextending, overgiving, having poor boundaries, not listening to our body or our intuition on what it needs, when it needs it, when it's running on empty. There's no point of pushing yourself so far to the limit. Whether that is, like I said, you trying to heal or use an empathic ability and absorbing too much instead of observing, or you literally just burning the midnight oil, overworking yourself, not getting enough sleep, all for, you know, a couple extra bucks per hour on a paycheck after taxes, thinking that that is actually beneficial. That is actually chaotic, and it causes conflict. It's draining. It's toxic. It's harmful. And it's not going to actually help you in the long run. In fact, it actually slows you down. Why? Because once you're running on empty and you've hit that E in your fuel tank, it's really hard to get up and go after that point. There's nothing left. You can't get something out of nothing. And here, this is what you really actually need, is to be a big bright light that has lots of energy and joy, and be able to operate, to function, to have that high energy vibe, to be able to share it with others, but in a healthy way that is not harmful to yourself. And this is why we're working on correcting this. This little toxic nightmare we got going on, because apparently some part of us is not upholding our boundaries. It's not actually helping us. We may think it's helping us. We may think it's helping somebody else even. But it's actually doing damage. And we're not paying attention to the signs. We're not paying attention to our limits. We're not paying attention to our intuition or our gut that says, whoa, 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 hold on, hold on, hold on. We have no more energy to give. What are you doing? Instead, we're kind of just being, I almost want to say ignorant of it. We're really just, what's the right word for that? What word would you guys like for that? Blinded. Okay, blinded. We're blinded to the effects and what the exact cause is, because we're not seeing everything. We're not seeing how much we're giving our power, our energy away. How much of the giving of self we're actually doing. And sometimes when we're in the middle of something, we don't realize how much that is. It doesn't sink in. It doesn't strike home. We feel it later. It's like doing a new exercise and feeling like, oh, that was easy. And then an hour later, you sit down for a half hour and then you try to get back up and you're like, oh, wow, I'm freaking sore. I can't move. And you're like, wow, I did more than what I thought. That exercise is really hard. Just as a really poor example, you don't always notice how it is in the moment. And this is why it's so prudent that we actually pay attention to this, to sit with it and have that realization of how we might be causing harm to ourselves. And in turn, maybe even someone else, depending on the situation. We don't want to harm others, but we also don't want to harm ourselves. And because this does feel like empath healer energy for a lot of the collective, I have to say, if you are healing others but harming yourself by doing so, you're not gaining anything. You can't pour from an empty cup. You also are doubling down on the energy that you're utilizing, because you're healing one person, you're taking damage yourself, and then you have to heal yourself. So, isn't it better to fix your pacing, the way you're operating, to where you're not over giving and harming yourself, but still helping the other person? You can't give somebody else everything and leave nothing for yourself and expect everything to be okay with you to continue on. It's kind of that, if you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You don't want something for a day. You want something that's more consistent and lasting. Something that will be longer than that. Something more stable, secure. You want a foundation. You want a bottom line to where you're not going to crash and burn. Why? Because there's something holding you up. And this is what we really have to realize, is that we're harming ourselves. Unintentionally harming ourselves. And harming ourselves energetically and maybe even physically. You know, lack of sleep, harming our body, harming our energy overall. And we're doing that all because we have compassion, empathy, psychic ability. Because maybe even at the time we think it's a good, fun, a needful thing. And it's not. To give is good. To give of self is good, especially if it's given with the purest of intentions. But also without ulterior motive. At the same point, you have to recognize there's only so much of yourself you can give to any one person, any one situation, at any one time, without causing harm to self. And what we want to do is be that energetic light that can give but also receive, to explore, enjoy, but also help. And that's a fine line to walk, especially if you're an empath or a healer or somebody who takes care of others, whether that is you're a parent, whether that is you're a caregiver, or maybe you work in a field that you help others, perhaps. In this case, you are literally a nurse or a doctor or something along that lines. So protecting yourself, protecting your energy is just as vital as giving of self with pure intentions and giving yourself freely. But remember, there always has to be that cutoff point of, okay, I've helped you and I can't help you anymore right now. And for those of us that are empaths or healers, that can be a very hard line to figure out. And more importantly, once we know where that line is, to reinforce that boundary and stick to it isn't always easy. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Because you're always going to encounter those that realize that you're a giver or that you can help, and all they do is take. They like taking. They know how to take. And some people don't care that by doing nothing but taking that they harm you. There's a reason why we have energy vampires. They are very good at taking. That is basically all they do. So beware. Beware that. And that's even a possibility for today, that that might be something that you encounter. All right. Let me move this stuff aside. I did add up all your cards, by the way. Everything here adds up to 220, which also reduces to 4. Which is strategy or your foundation. In this case, you're trying to build a foundation. One where you're stable and secure. And you're not doing that over giving to the point of self-harm. We don't want to do that. And on the flip side, if you are somebody who is interacting with somebody and you realize that's what's happening to them, you need to be respectful enough not to take. Don't be the person that sees that and continues to go, oh, well, I need this. Give me this. I need it now. So please be aware the shoe might be on the other foot on that case. And I just realized I forgot to pull up the astrology. That tells you where my brain is today. It's been a long day, so give me just a sec and I will pull this up. This is for the 15th. Okay. Okay, we have the moon in Libra. Spend time with someone who helps you feel emotionally at ease. Enjoy the company and feel connected. Like I said, some of you are empaths, some of you are healers, and giving yourself is great. Overgiving and causing self-harm is really bad. If the shoe's on the other foot and you realize somebody's overgiving, don't be the one that takes. Alright, my lovelies. Hopefully some of this resonated for you. It is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And if it does resonate for you, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.